Greetings, fellow heterosexuals. Today I'm going to be following a Bob Ross tutorial. This is inspired by Evan and Caitlin's video where they followed a Bob Ross tutorial but used resin instead of paint. I'm going to leave a link in the corner. I know that it's usually a meme thing to follow a Bob Ross tutorial, and usually this is something that bigger channels than mine do. But I'm just going to do it because I've been feeling a bit of burnout with the constant pressure I put on myself working on my Coming to the Lavender webtoon reboot and the Monday through Friday schedule I've been putting on myself for my YouTube channel. So following Bob Ross, who's just so wholesome and positive and wants and expects the best of me, seemed like a nice relaxing way to do it. I was also inspired to do paintings after the birthday picture I did for Hex, my oldest OC, on November 5th. And once again, I'm going to leave a little link in the corner. Obviously, the top headline for November 5th, 2020 was Hex's birthday. I mean, that's all everybody was talking about that day. Destiel becoming canon the same night, unconfirmed rumors of Putin stepping down coming out, who? So, as I may have mentioned before in previous videos on this channel, I suffer from chronic hand pain like most artists. So, this is also going to be a challenge to force myself to work quickly. I am going to work on this for roughly about the same 20 minutes that Bob does and see how that looks. So as you can see, I found this document for the Bob Ross paint palette on Google, but because I like to work with a lot more saturated colors than Bob generally does, let me see if I can show you. So this layer is how it looked when I pulled it up on Google, and that's just the normal layer. And then I duplicate a layer, set it to hard light, and that makes it more saturated and gives it, a closer color palette to something that I would like to paint in. Because Bob, I respect you, I respect your work, but Mama likes bright colors. Okay, so you're going to occasionally hear Bob speak from beyond the ether. That's because my recording software generally stays to whatever program I started recording on, so probably you won't see Bob, but you'll probably hear him. So, let's get started.
Hi, small amount of the cad yellow.
Okay, so, and again, this is going to be kind of a challenge, is figuring out how to get close to what Bob's working with. So, what I'm using is I'm using the pointillism brush, but I just increase the thickness, and again, just to get more saturated, just because that's my personal preference, I'm going to increase the amount of paint and the density of the paint. So 2-inch brush, when you look at it, it's kind of dummy thick, so we're gonna make it a big boy. Nuts and bolts. Nuts. Nuts. This ain't working too well. Wait, no, wait. Well, there we go. Okay, so, tip for you guys, if you're working in Clip Studio Paint with a pointillism brush, if you want to get it kind of dummy thick like I have, and you want to increase the size, just increase the particle size, and that's going to make it more dummy thick, like we're working with. So I think that's kind of close to the proportionate to what Bob's got going on there, so let's continue. Maybe we should lower the density of the paint because he goes kind of, maybe we should even make it a little smaller here. So, okay, so what Bob does is he just makes a happy little cloud, as he would put it. So we're gonna kind of zoom out. Oh, this is terrific. Oh, we can't quite move at the same pace as Bob because of there's a bit of a delay here. That's great. Okay, what can we do to make this faster? Oh, why is it delaying like that? Does it want... Why is it delaying like that? I don't like that. Oh, I don't appreciate that none too much. Oh, what is that about? We're gonna figure it out, folks. I'm just gonna learn in front of you to teach you, and this totally has nothing to do with the fact that I really don't want to do a bunch of practice runs and then lose my nerve because I don't want to do this no more. Yeah, that's totally what we're going for. Okay, let's see what happens here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that works better. Okay. Okay, so it does not like the particle size. So let's see. We'll just pretend this is our paint thinner. So let's see what happens. There we go. Okay, that seems like a nice happy medium. So this is the brush we're going to be working with. So that's fine. Let's call that our happy little cloud. Let's see how we can duplicate. Okay, so he's using yellow ochre, and he says without washing the brush. So, let's say that's going to be our yellow ochre, because that would probably be what it would look like if this was just a dirty brush we were using. Let's see what happens. Boop. And then he kind of gives it a shading. I say as if you guys can actually see this. You can't. You get nothing. You don't get to see it. I put parental block on it, and totally has nothing to do with the fact that I don't know how this fucking technology works. YouTube, you don't pay my bills, so I don't give a fuck about how many times I swear. I will give a fuck once you start paying my bills, but for now, you don't, so I don't have to worry about your swear jar. Ooh, that looks pretty. I'm vibing. We also haven't saved this officially, so we should probably do that, because I would get quite irate if this file got deleted. So, there we go. So let's stop there. Get our palette back, and he says he wants bright red. Mr. Bobby B, no, Bobby R, would appreciate some bright red, please. And I will oblige him. Okay, so what he does is he kind of goes off in the corner over here, kind of outlines it, and does kind of this little number, while also outlining what we did in yellow ochre. I'm also going to do a little bit of overlap to give it a nice bit of blending. You go blendy, blendy, blue, as my brother would say. How about... Am I taking up too much real estate? I think we are. We're going to edit, transform, scale. This is also the beauty of working in a digital palette, is we can manipulate stuff, unlike Mr. Bobby R would have access to. We're also gonna transform it. Let's do a mesh transform, because we want you to still be in the corner. We just also don't want you to take up so much real estate. And I think it's also going to give it a nice blending effect, which I think will work well for what we're going here for, folks. I usually work better with a script, but also having to write the scripts before I did these videos was also stressing out. So we're also going to figure out ways to not do that so much. Because we want to work smarter, not harder, as David Tennant Duck says. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's proportionate. And if it's not, Bob would just say we did a happy little accident. That's what I appreciate about Bob, is you don't have to worry about being hot and sexy and following the latest trends for him. You just have to paint and make it happy and make it your own. And he just wants you to be happy, and I really appreciate that, because sometimes in the art world it feels like not everyone really cares about what makes you happy. They just want you to make them happy. And while, of course, spreading joy is a good thing, it also is like, well, if you're not doing something that makes me happy, I don't care if you live or die, is how it can kind of feel in the art world. But, you know, Bob is all about what's going to bring you joy, what's going to make you happy, what's going to motivate you to continue, and he wants you to have success, which I appreciate about him. Okay. I think I kind of got ahead of him a little bit, so here we be. Okay, maybe I should make you a little smaller, Mr. Bright Red. How about this bad boy? That's looking sexy, I think.
There we go. And we'll just very lightly blend all this together.
Gonna go blendy, blendy blue. May I have my palette, sir? Sir, may I have my palette? That's the other cool thing, is they have this nice gradient to show you the lighter versions of the color. So I think we'd be working with something a little closer to this. Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted, but that's fine. Bob would say it's fine, so we're going to trust Bob and his judgment, even though he doesn't have very much judgment, and that's something I appreciate about him. And it's going to be fine, and it's not going to look exactly like Bob's painting, but Bob would say that that's fine too, and he appreciates that I made an effort. And I appreciate your appreciating, Bob. Bobbert. I like how that looks. So we're going to stop there.
Okay.
Now
And
then,
then
I have several brushes going, so I'm going to spend all my time washing. I'm going to take straight titanium white, just straight white.
Bob needs you to get a nice straight white heterosexual for this painting. I'm going to take a little bathroom break and see how my stock of white heterosexuals is doing. I'll go ask my mom. She might have some.